What's up, guys? As you know, I have been using the iPhone 5S for a couple of days, and I've been doing a 30-day challenge where I use the iPhone 5S for 30 days and report back my experience. Today, we will be talking about the Wi-Fi performance on the iPhone 5S. Now, if some of you already know that my wife uses an iPhone 5, and let me tell you, the iPhone 5 has really bad Wi-Fi connectivity. As a matter of fact, for those of you that saw my video on my home office, you saw that I have an access point, and I had to have that access point because of her phone. You can see that this is connected to the virus.exe Wi-Fi network, and this is also connected to the same Wi-Fi network. I want you guys to see that there's no funny business here. I'm going to go ahead and load speed test, and I'm actually going to handicap the Nexus 4. And what I mean by that is I'm actually going to use a server that is a lot further away from where I live. And here, the server is close, Los Angeles. As a matter of fact, I'm going to randomly pick one. And the way I'm going to do that is by flicking the phone and stopping right there. So I'm going to be using this one, Bixby, Oklahoma BTC broadband, which is 1,223 miles away, compared to the one here in Irvine, which is a lot closer to where I live. So let's go ahead and begin the speed test and see what happens. Now, as I was saying, I had to get an access point for my second floor of my house for my wife's iPhone 5 because it's really bad. This is 1,000 miles away. As you can see, the speed is 1200 megabits, or excuse me, 12 megabits down and 1 megabit over here on the iPhone 5S. Now you're probably thinking, Armando, you picked this is part of your little scheme. You know which servers to pick, and that's why I randomly pick it. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead over here and let's change the server. Oops, not auto select. Let's go back here, load more servers. Let's do Los Angeles DreamHost. That's actually a really good server. Okay, and let's go ahead and restart the test. 1, 2, 3, boom. Go ahead and restart and see what happens. This should be really good over here on the iPhone 5S because that's a really good server. As I said, it's a really good server. But still, being 1,200 miles away, the Nexus 4 is smoking the iPhone 5S. It's pretty bad. And let's go ahead and change the server over here on the Nexus 4. Let's actually move it a little closer. And I'm going to randomly do this. Stop. This one right here, Gunnison, Colorado, 600 and something miles away. Let's go ahead and do that speed test again. And let's change the server over here once again to see if we can get something better. Let's do Los Angeles, Atlantic Metro. Okay. Go ahead and speed test, restart the test, and see what happens. So yeah, as I was saying, the iPhone does not have really good Wi-Fi connectivity. Now in this case, the iPhone looked like it was a little bit better, but still, you got to understand, this is my territory over here. I'm just trying to prove that the Nexus 4 is pinging a server that's really far, hence the 200 ms ping, and it's still rocking the iPhone 5S. And I'm going to show you a couple other tests to give you guys a better comparison. So once again, I want to show that I am still in the same Wi-Fi network, virus.exe and virus.exe over here on the iPhone 5S. Let's go ahead and go home. I'm going to show you that nothing has been preloaded over here on the iPhone 5S, and of course nothing is preloaded over here on the Nexus 4. Let's go ahead and try YouTube and see how quickly a video loads. So let's go ahead and launch the app at the same time. So let's go ahead and see which one works quicker here. So it looks like they're about the same. The iPhone looked a little bit quicker, but let's go ahead and actually try it with a video where it really counts. So I'm going to go ahead and do one of my uploads here, the iPhone 5S week 1. If you haven't seen that, go ahead and watch that. And it looks like it's having trouble loading the thumbnail over here. I'm not sure if it was a glitch or if it's just hasn't uploaded. There it goes. Let's go ahead and try this at the same time to see which video loads quicker. At the count of 3, 1, 2, and 3. So it looks like the tapping on the iPhone 5S was a little bit delayed. And that's okay. We can knock off 1 second if you'd like, because it still hasn't loaded. So even at that 1 second, it doesn't matter. It looks like it is loading a advertisement over here, which over here we are already at almost 20 seconds into the video, and still the advertisement has not loaded. We're going to go ahead and skip that advertisement and see how quickly the video loads. Now the video stopped over here. Now remember, oops, there it goes. Let's see how this fares. Let's see if it stops over here on the iPhone 5S, how the experience is. Now understand, remember, I am at the furthest point of my house. The quality here you can see has changed drastically, where over here we still have HD, and I know it may be a little bit difficult to see that. I'll actually try and zoom in here. It looks terrible. By the way, this is always playing in HD, just so you know. Over here, the iPhone 5S is a little bit different when it comes to the YouTube app. It doesn't have a mode for HD or non-HD. It basically automatically buffers. So it scales it down to the lowest quality so that you don't have any interruptions like you do over here. Okay. And that's pretty good, but the experience, once again, it looks really bad. I don't know if you guys can see, it's really jaggedy. You could see a ton of frame drops in order to keep that video playback going. I obviously you guys saw that on the Nexus 4. It actually stopped. Oh wow, you could really tell right here on the animation. It's skipping a whole bunch of frames. Matter of fact, when you put them side by side, you could see how actually, let me turn this way because the screen is so small. Look how blurry that is. I don't even know if it paused. Let me see. Oh no, it's just really bad. And again, it's doing that. The iPhone 5S is doing that to keep the video playing, whereas the Nexus 4 stopped the video to buffer and give you a much more better experience. And to be quite frank with you, I'd rather it do that than you know, have the video quality be terrible. But anyhow, just wanted to show you guys that. Let's go ahead and try something else. And once again, I want to show that they are still connected to the same Wi-Fi network. I don't want you guys to think that there's any funny business going on here. I'm going to show you also that there are no applications loaded on the Nexus 4, and there are no applications over here loaded on the iPhone 5S. And what I mean by applications is the next app that we will be testing out, which will be Google+. So let's see how quickly each of these load. Let's go ahead and try that on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And I've mentioned that the experience to me seems a lot better on the iPhone 5S. As you can see, the Nexus 4 was still quicker to load. Let's go ahead and try and do this at the same time. I know it's really hard because the Nexus 4 has a larger screen. Let's go ahead and try and do this. Okay, that's about the same. Okay, that's about the same. So far, it's been pretty consistent here. Okay, picture, Android versus iOS. Now, this is interesting. I don't see this post anywhere. It looks like the iPhone 5S is probably missing that. Now I'm kind of lost to see which is which. Okay. Wish there was more of a... Looks like certain posts don't get published. So let's go ahead and try this again. Now here's one thing to note. On the Nexus 4, if I... Just a little FYI. If I flick my finger like this, it'll keep loading. Whereas the iPhone 5S, it'll stop. See? It'll continue to stop. I'll try and go as fast as I can. Watch this. To the top. Nope. To the top. Nope. To the top. No, there it goes. Now with the Nexus 4, I could flick it really. There it goes. All the way to the top. So if I give 80%, it actually shows 80%. That's one of the things that, or one of the reasons why the iPhone 5S or the iPhone in general seems a lot smoother. And this happens even on Facebook and other applications, is when you scroll, you have to keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling because it's not letting you use it's not gathering all of the information at once. And if it did, it would probably lag a lot. So let's go ahead and try this again. Okay. It doesn't look like we're getting the same feed, but as you can see, the Nexus 4 is actually, let's go ahead and try and refresh that again. Quicker. There it is. There's a picture. Oh, this is a good one. There it goes. So that took a couple of extra seconds there on the iPhone 5S, and that's been my experience throughout my house. And a lot of times I actually have to just use LTE because it's really bad. Now here where I'm in my office, I'm getting really great reception because the access point is actually here in my office. If I go ahead and move somewhere else, it just becomes unusable where I have to use LTE. So in reality, I'm actually giving the iPhone 5S kind of a winning or in favor here. But if I move somewhere else, like, oh, here's the one right here, Daniel Cook. There he goes. If I move somewhere else, it would just become, like I said, unusable. So anyhow, guys, just wanted to give you this quick Wi-Fi performance test and let you guys know that if you do end up buying an iPhone 5S or an iPhone 5, the Wi-Fi performance isn't that great. And that, like I said, this has been the case in many Wi-Fi areas that I've been, not just in my house, where I just prefer to use LTE. Now, if you live in a smaller home and that you may not experience these types of hiccups, like I said, I live in a pretty large home, so it does. You could definitely feel it or see it. And like I said, I had to set up that access point upstairs just to be able to have the iPhone 5S keep up. So anyhow, guys, keep watching for more videos on the iPhone 5S and the whole user experience.